I'm taking your picture. Of course, you're too backlit, so you don't show up very good.
Hello everybody, Blue Dooley, and in this video we're putting lights on the snowplow and getting it back to final assembly. I have the cab wired up. We can cut to some scenes working on that. I got the light bar on the cab. Still haven't tested it yet. The hood is all wired up with lights, and I've just got the holes drilled in the back of the truck for taillights. I still need to solder up 2 more LEDs and then find a very long, very thin pair of needle nose pliers so I can get the lights stuck into their holders in the back of the truck. And unfortunately, I need to order some more little LED clips because I don't have any for the 5mm LEDs. I only have them for the 3. So since we're out here in the garage, we'll go over the back of the truck, and then we can cut to working on the cab. The cab still needs some paint, but all the lights and stuff are ready to go on it. And there is lights in the back of the truck. I did get this light a little higher than that light. Of course, this pintle hook isn't exactly straight either, but I'm gonna have the 4 red LEDs. I haven't fished that other one up yet. And then up here in the top of the box are gonna be 2 amber lights. And I have plenty of wires to get through to the chassis. I got more than enough. In fact, I actually got way too much. This little light controller is from My Trick RC, and it's their universal controller. They have newer versions than this one right now. I've had this one for a little while. But this is actually going to tuck up underneath. Conveniently have the interior still sitting here. So the lights are going to sit back here somewhere, and then the receiver is actually going to tuck up underneath the dash of the interior, which has been a while since anybody's seen this. But I painted it up, detailed it a little bit so it wasn't all just this tan color. But it'll sit upside down pretty much right in here. And then the receiver will be up here. The motor won't really have anything around it. And yeah, it's been a slow process. October's been a little rough, so I'm going to finish drilling some holes. The ones in the steel will probably just get RTV'd. I'll just put a little RTV on the back of them. But these I need some holders for, and I'll have to drill these holes out a little bit. So let me solder up some wires real quick, and then we'll call the box done, and then we'll go take a look at what we did to the cab. All right, on the desk is a mess. I just got the lights tucked in for the clearance lights on the snowplow. I need to shave this chrome so the wires will tuck in there nice and neat, and then I can get this blue piece back in there because the blue piece is what holds everything into the cab. Speaking of the cab, I got my holes, where to drill my holes marked in the cab for the light bar. They're going to sit in front of the horns because they, if you notice, they line up right with the center of the horn. So there wasn't any way to really scrunch it in to put it here above the horns. That's all right. And speaking of the light bar, I took it apart so I can paint it. So I can get these parts wiped down and take them out to the garage and do a little painting. I think I'm going to paint these the same aluminum I used on the dump bed itself, as I don't know if I can match that blue of the cab, and just a nice brushed aluminum. I think amber light bar will look good on the truck. So let's go out and drill some holes and get some paint done. Not sure why the one LED is a little dimmer than the others. They're all plugged into the same wires. The flasher bar actually uses a servo lead, so that'll plug right into the receiver, as I'm not actually sure what functions the flasher bar has at the moment. But the light bar is bolted down, and then the rest of the lights are now glued in place. And the wires just run right out through a couple of holes I snipped in there. And the servo lead actually comes right through one of the existing holes in that plastic piece. Got a piece of styrene I'm gluing into the cab to cover up all the wires. And they just come down one corner of the cab. And then I also have the piece of styrene kind of put in the hole for now. I'll have to put a little more putty around it when it dries and then sand and paint it. And then of course I'll also have to paint that part of the cab too. While we're waiting for glue to dry on the cab, I have drilled the holes through this gray piece of plastic and the blue plastic of the hood. So now we got LEDs behind the headlight lens. I don't have a high beam lens or LED. I'm just going to run low beam and a marker light. So those are now glued into place. The work lights on the hood also in place. And there's enough of an opening on the back. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see that. But I have to paint the back of these LEDs and these LEDs. And I have to paint them black so the light doesn't come back out through the back of the light. So that just shines through the front like it's supposed to. Make it look a little better. And then a lot of wire tidying up. So the amber light and the white light are all wired in to a common plug, just a single plug for all 4 LEDs. That'll plug into the light controller. Now I just need to pop the clear lens off this side, trim this little piece here a little bit, and then drill the 2 holes and glue those 2 LEDs in. And then the hood, minus some wire tidying, is ready to go back on the truck. And the hood is wired up. All the lights are working that I want. I don't have high beams in it, but headlight and the marker lights. This side the LED's up a little high, but still happy with the way it looks. My Trick RC light controller, universal light controller is what I'm using right now, and a 9-volt just to test all the lights. So that means the cab, aside from some paint, is pretty much wired up and ready to go. I need to check the glue on that here in a second, but happy with the way this is turning out so far. There's the truck lit up. Cab lights are a little dim, but happy with the way things are going. And now I need to drill some holes on the back of the truck and wire up some more LEDs and just keep testing as I go. Okay, took me a little bit to figure out what switch to put the light bar on, because the first couple of switches I tried, it wouldn't turn off. So I have it on a temporary switch so I can just cycle through all the modes. So right now it's off. So you get a fast flash, you get a side-to-side flash, you get a steady on, a very quick strobe, a slower strobe, more side to side, and then off. And I didn't count how many modes that was. But the light bar is installed, it is working, so that's kind of cool. I can just kind of cycle through flash patterns. I also like that you can run it just a steady on. That's kind of neat. So like if the truck was parked or something, or maybe you just wanted a little extra lights. On my light bar at work, it's called just cruise. There we go. So yeah, happy with the way that turned out. Like I said, it took me a little bit to figure out what to plug it into and what switch to put it on so I could cycle through the modes. I was hoping there was just kind of like an on-off, but a little more complicated than that. But it is a cool little light bar. And I did get it from Bob over at Hobby Concepts, and I will have to put on screen how much it was because I do not remember off the top of my head. It comes white, so this aluminum paint is what I painted the box with. So I just took the light bar part, hit it with a little aluminum paint, and actually it turns out really well. So you can probably paint match that light bar to whatever you want, or spray it black, or kind of paint it whatever you want. So that's that, and we'll get everything else plugged in here eventually and check the truck out fully lit up. So as you saw from the night, well, the shot with the lights off, the truck looks fantastic with all those lights on. Just a little disappointed that that one LED in the middle clearance light just isn't as bright as the rest of them. Now I just need to tuck up the wires. Apparently didn't make the amber ones quite long enough. But I will need to get the holders for these two lights. And then those, I don't know if I'll get the light holders for those or not. I'll probably get a package of like, I don't know, a dozen, or I don't know how many come in a bag. Of course, somebody was messing with their boat engine. Them guys, no water in that boat engine. They just rev it to the moon. So that's what you were hearing on the background. So yeah, the next time this truck is seen, it should be put back together. All the chrome on it, the top of the cab painted, stacks, tanks, steps, wires tucked out of the way, and then all we need is some snow. So that is going to do it for this video. Be sure to subscribe so you can see this thing pushing snow with all of its lights on. And yeah, got to subscribe so you can see the truck run. You can see the grand hauler. We got a trailer to build still, so there is content coming. Hopefully November runs smoother than October did, so I can kind of keep a steadier pace going. So we'll catch you in the next video.